What's up guys, I'm Agent Shadow, and in this video I will be explaining how to 3-cat spam. This is currently the meta version of gameplay, especially if you're PC, so if you don't really know how to, I would encourage you to watch until the end. And while I am rusty and definitely not even close to one of the best cat spammers currently, I used to do it quite competitively. So I can explain the theory of it. Alright, jumped into a match here. Also, I'm using a loadout that I had a big video on last year. At the time when I made the video, this was the best 3-cat spam loadout in the game. Except Dragoneer could be switched for Ultimatum, but that part's debatable. So, we got someone in the chat who knows me. Interesting. When it comes to 3-cat spam, it's mainly Sniper, Special, and Backup, and you're switching between the three of them. Also, the loadout I'm currently using is very unique. This is not a typical 3-cat spam loadout. So, real quick, let me go into my armory to show you what's typically used. So, for backup, you want to pick one that doesn't have a ton of delay. Currently, there's been so many new backups that are just amazing for 3-cat spam. Let me list a few. If you like 3-cat spam, Corrupted Exterminator is great. Bloody Mercenary, Hypno Hunter, Killing Mechanism is also very good. This Postagrator can be used. That one's decent. Down here we got a lot more. Sparkling Horn, that one used to be the best. It's still up there. And then there's other ones like the Laser Cycler, and then you've got Thunderer and Exterminator. Lots of options. So, and there are many ones that I actually didn't mention that are still good. For Special, there's a lot less options for Special. I'm using the Laser Bouncer, which is good, but it has delay when switching to it. So, the only reason I'm using it now is because this Sniper and Backup, neither of these have output delay at all, which is why I can use it. But typically, you want to go with one of the classic options, which are the Cybercat Lantern, no delay, very easy to hit shots with. The Cyber Lantern, this one's more powerful, but does have a little bit of delay. So this one's a little slower, still very good though. And then also, the Corrupted Necklace of Ice King and the Necklace of the Ice King. These are the ones that most people stick with. There are some other ones, such as the Portable Death Moon, that they work well, but don't have good damage. So those are the classic picks that I would recommend. If you're a very, very OG player, Poison Darts, of course, it's not actually very good, but I love using Poison Darts. So, if you like it, go for it, but it's not even top 10, so. And then snipers, honestly, snipers where you have, the most leeway. Almost any sniper you like, you can use. I'm using Anniversary Anti-Champion Rifle just because I like how it works, and it allows me to use the Laser Bouncer. So I have just created a private match so I can show you the mechanics. It's a little easier in here, and then after that, I'll do actual gameplay with it. So first, let me switch my loadout to a more classic, normal 3-cat spam loadout. I'll stick with Harsh Punisher, always a safe option. I'll also do one of the more used specials, a default one, Necklace of the Ice King. This is also one that most people should have. And then another backup, it's very OG, Thunderer. So this is a very classic loadout. Also, I would recommend using a heavy that has rocket jump. That's not crucial, you don't always need that, but it does help. And I'll use Proton Freezer. Proton Freezer. Most people have this one, and it's pretty good. So, what you want to do here, you also want a melee with good mobility to move around when you're not shooting. When you're shooting, you want to switch from Sniper to Special to Backup to Special to Sniper. Typically, that's the normal order, because the Special is the part that has no delay. Watch, if I switch from Sniper to Backup, you see the delay? And you can do Backup to Sniper. That works too. But typically I go Backup, Special, Sniper, Special, Backup. Again, you can mix this up as much as you want. The trick is you just can't switch from the Sniper to Backup. And let's use a different Sniper for an example. Conductor of Souls is a great Sniper, but it does have delay. So if I go Sniper, Special, Backup, and then to Sniper, there's delay. So typically you want the Special to be kind of an intermediary. And that is the function of all the major specials used for this. The Corrupted one and the Cybercat Lantern and Poison Darts as well. The only one that doesn't quite work this way is Cyber Lantern. So when you're using these, you just want to have good switching back and forth. You also can use melee to cancel delay. For example, if I'm going from Backup to Sniper and there's delay, if I really want to do Backup Sniper, I can do Backup Melee Sniper, and it cancels the delay out. And same vice versa. If I go Sniper, I hit the melee. Sorry, I was too slow there. And then it cancels out the delay for the backup. So that is an option. And you also want to be, again, some people consider it toxic, but using your heavy to rocket jump is super helpful. You don't want to do it excessively because it just makes you hard to kill and you get less kills, so it's annoying to other players and not actually that effective. That used to be a problem I had in the past. I would just rocket jump all over the map, shoot, and then rocket jump 4 more times. I wouldn't get very many kills, and other people absolutely hated it, so that's not the strategy I would recommend. And then, of course, you have your shotgun, which is Ultimatum, Dragoneer, or whatever you're comfortable with. And some people like to spam it. I only use this to finish off a kill. For example, if I just hit someone with my backup and they're almost dead and I want to finish them off real quick, boom, I'll use my primary. Same with special, and then sometimes if someone has anti-modules on my sniper, I will also use the primary to finish them off. Okay, so now we're in a real match, and again, very rusty, but you can see how it works. I may not be hitting the shots, but at least I'm kind of doing it right. And another part that is extremely important, it's easier to explain in a real match, is your movement. The movement is crucial because you can stand there and do this all day, but that you're going to get killed a lot. And so there's 2 different kinds of main movement, from what I can understand. I do the second one most, but you can move side by side and you want to move diagonally, backwards and forwards. It's easier to line up your shots that way and makes it harder for people to hit you. So that's one way. And then I typically jump when I'm 3-cat spamming. Again, this is not what everybody does, but that's what I do a lot. I jump diagonally. I jump like this. I move, if you look to the left here, my joystick, I'm moving side to side and then jumping, can double jump like this, which for me helps my aim. But again, it also makes you a little bit slower so people can kill you pretty quickly. And then, of course, one of the key things when you're doing 3-cat spam, most people don't talk about this, but you want to walk into your shot. Now, a lot of people, they drag their crosshair until they just can line it up and shoot like that. And that's fine. But in 3-cat spam, you don't have the time to do that. So the side-by-side movement helps because as I'm moving this way, I drag the shot into the opponent and then the other way around and the other way. So you're moving back and forth over and over to the side, to the side. You drag your shot into the opponent. So that's very important for 3-cat spam. If you're a PC, it's not quite as crucial because it's more just click. But for mobile, it is important to do that. Most of the best 3-cat spam players with great aim actually do this because otherwise it just doesn't work. They can't have consistency without it. And then, of course, once you get the pattern going, it's just practice. You just have to get better aim. And then, see, I'm doing the jumping method mostly. Let me switch to side by side so you can see that as well. And, as you saw there, I missed it. But I weakened him with my special, and then I was switching to primary to finish off the kill. So that is something I would recommend doing with your shotgun, not just using it randomly. And then finally, let me explain more rocket jump techniques. A lot of times you want to jump straight up, and you can shoot down at opponents. Usually shooting down at opponents is easier than shooting up at opponents. Again, that's not always the case, but that's usually the case, so it does give you a slight advantage. But more often than not, you want your heavy to escape situations, not as much for attack. If I'm shooting at people and all of a sudden it's really not working out for me, I'll rocket jump behind as I shoot. Again, rocket jump back. Also, again, Proton Freezer is a good option because it's very powerful, but it doesn't have the best rocket jump qualities. I can go ahead and tell you my recommendations. Pixel Cola is always a good option, but my personal favorite, not the best, but my personal favorite that I've been using for years is System Scorpion. The heavies that have super rocket jump are even better. This one I love to use, especially since you don't have to hit the jump button with the shot for it to be effective. Many times I just do that. Hit the normal shoot button, and it just launches me. So I can just shoot as much as I want, and then boom, I'm gone. So I hope that was clear. Let me move on to the final part here is your wear. Again, this isn't crucial, but it does help to use the more mobile armor. If you look at armor such as the inflatable armor, developer armor, and veterans armor, there are a few other kinds, but when they have speed of 65 and jump 75, that's better than armor such as the Ultimate Defense armor. Still good, but has slower speed and jump. So typically when you're doing 3-cat, you want the faster armor. And then you definitely want double jump boots. I personally like the veterans boots because it increases jump height. And there's acceleration after killing, so you're just really fast. And then I would recommend Editor Cape. Increases movement speed and jump height and increases weapon damage. All around very good for it. And then you do want the Burning Tiara as a hat. The mask is debatable. There are a lot of good options. Pumpkin mask is always good. Veterans mask, about the same thing. And there are other good options for this too. So the mask is a little bit more preference. And final recommendations for weapons, I would recommend a very strong shotgun that does a lot of damage in one punch. Backups, again, it's up to you, but typically you want ones that are typically one shot that can kill on headshot and just do a lot of damage on body shot. Melee, pick something mobile. Again, double cashback is a good default option. I like using ones such as the Assassin's Dagger or the Foam Sword. I would just recommend using one that has mobility of 90 or higher. Otherwise, it's a bit slow. And special, there are a lot less options for this, but also personal preference. The ones I would recommend the most are Cybercat Lantern, both Necklace of the Ice Kings, and the Cyber Lantern. And then there are other options like Poison Darts, which aren't as good, but still okay. And then weapons such as Laser Bouncer and Reflector, but those require other weapons to have no output delay at all. So these are harder to actually fit into a loadout. And then Sniper, this one, I feel like over half the mythical snipers would work. You could use almost any of these and it would be okay, as long as you have a special that doesn't have delay. And finally, for heavy, you want one you can rocket jump with. I personally like the ones that have super rocket jump, but as long as you bounce, it's fine. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.